Good morning, church family. Today in our reading through the book of Luke, we're going to be in Luke chapter 9, starting in verse 18. It reads, "Once when Jesus was praying in private and his disciples were with him, he asked them, 'Who do the crowd say I am?' They replied, 'Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others that one of the prophets of long ago have come back to life.' 'But what about you?' he asked. 'Who do you say I am?' Peter answered, 'God's Messiah.' Jesus strictly warned them not to tell this to anyone, and he said, 'The Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the teachers of the law, and he must be killed and on the third day be raised to life.' And then he said to all of them, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. But whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit their very self? Whoever is ashamed of me and my words, the Son will be ashamed of them when he comes in his glory and the glory of the Father and of the holy angels. Truly I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the kingdom of God." Jesus is walking with his disciples, and he asked this really important question: who do you say that I am? And it's such an important question for us and how we live our lives, because based upon how we view Jesus and how we view the mission that Christ has given to us, as well as how we view his kingdom, that sets the way by which we will set the priorities for our everyday life. When we view Jesus as small, or someone who just came with good advice and maybe some good intentions, we oftentimes limit what he desires to do and the areas of our life that he is allowed to work. But when we see Jesus as the Messiah, the very reason for our life, and when we understand the kingdom of God to be the way in which we are to live, and not something that's for tomorrow, but it's something that is here and now, then when Jesus says there are some of you standing here who will not taste death before you see the kingdom of God, we recognize that you and I have the ability to see the kingdom of God right now. That it's not about going to heaven, it's about allowing God to work and have rule and reign and authority in our life right now. You see, all as we walk it through the book of Luke and we've been seeing God do the miraculous as he intervenes in the everyday. The truth is this is God's world. While dominion over it has been given to the prince of darkness, right? The reality is Jesus is the one who created it all. And because he created all, he has authority and dominion and power. And he will do just as he plans to do, and he intentionally interacts with our everyday life to point us out that there's so much more than what our eyes are limited to see and our ears are limited to hear. So I wonder today, as we look at what it means to be a disciple of Christ, are we willing to deny everything that we know of in this world, everything that is not pointing us to God, every temptation, every desire, every goal that leads us to self and instead of God? Would we be willing to leave that all behind so that the work, the mission, and the will of God might be done? You know, that's the amazing thing that sets Jesus apart from the rest of us. Jesus says, everything else second, and the God's will be first. What about us? Are we saying God's will is our priority? Are we allowing God's will to be first in our life? Maybe you'd like to share a recommitment to do that, or maybe you want to share about how when you've surrendered to God's will, what's happened, how he has worked. We'd love to hear that in the comment section below so we can pray with you and walk with you in this journey. We look forward to continuing on our study through the book of Luke as we continue in Luke chapter 9 tomorrow.